This year, more than ever, I have thought a lot about the economy of time. And the question that comes to my mind over and over again is, why do we need to negotiate work, money, and schedules to simply spend time with the people we love? My mom's sixth and final chemo got over recently, and my maternal aunt was going to be there for that session. I felt a sort of aching in my heart thinking about not being able to be there. And to make myself feel better in my head, I did try to rationalize not going. I gave myself a big pros and cons list as usual. I thought it's alright, I can always visit my maternal aunt in Ireland. Then I thought mum's final chemo is already over, so what's the point of going now? I won't be of any help. But our new house is being completed with the interiors, so then I thought maybe I could help my parents with that, managing the work, making color choices, some design decisions. You see how much I was trying to still tie this trip to productivity instead of just simply being there for the sake of it. I had to navigate so many things before I went to see my family. Because there were so many moving pieces, I just decided that I would not tell them everything till it was finalized. And then it was a little too late, so I thought might as well just give them a surprise.
लेकिन कल क्या नहीं आई मेरा बच्चा
डर गई क्या आप? पसीना आ गया आपको?
अचानक ही क्या ऐसे में हार्ट फेल जाता है कभी कभी लोगों का, समझ रही हो?
कौन आ गया यार?
मेरी माता, वो मेरी माता। ये क्या है? ये ऐसे दिमाग में है ना, और वो कभी भी करेगी।
मैं तो बोला था, लेकिन हमें लगा कि जब समझा
मेरे
दिया
डैडी
क्या
से
तब
बात
नहीं
नहीं
आएगी।
होती कि हो सकता है वो के पहले आएगी। जब कीमो हमारा हो गया तो हमने कहा आप ये नहीं आएगी, अब बात नहीं आएगी। मेरा बच्चा कितनी सुंदर बच्चा है। हमने अभी पनीर खाया।
बता देते
हमको संडे तक डाउट था, अब नहीं डाउट था एक्चुअली। संडे तक तो हम पूरे फॉर्म में थे कि किसी भी समय चेक कर
ये तो कैसे आ गई भाई?
वही तो, ये तो
उड़ के आ गए, उड़ के। हाँ कर, आप भी गए?
गाना सुबह जी
गाना ही खत्म। I felt so torn between wanting to go and the practical costs of the trip. There are only 2 flights from Bangalore to their city. Weekend flights were above 20,000 rupees one way. Can you imagine? The flights during the week were okay, they were reasonable, but to travel during the week, I would have to take the very early morning 6 a.m. flight, which meant I would have to leave my house at 3 a.m. and wake up at 2 a.m. because the airport is at least 45 kilometers from my house. Then there was the health cost, this disruption in routine and what it does to my type 1 diabetes.
इसमें दालचीनी पाउडर, इलायची, दालचीनी, जायफल का पाउडर, हल्दी, अफेज, लेमन, सी लीव्स और क्या कितना सामान है।
Then the work from home cost. It was a new job for me, so I didn't really have much of a leave balance. So I had to fly in a way such that I didn't need to take a day off from work. I grew up in an Indian middle class household, and as much as I hate stereotypes, there are just some things that felt like they existed across the board. And those things, I think, had subconsciously structured my perspective of work for as long as I can remember. One came from my mother. Looking at the state of women in her time, where women had a lot of potential but their primary identities were tied to the home and the family. She would always tell me growing up, and it was like a constant echo in the back of my head, that you have to be financially independent. That should be your primary goal in life as a girl. Make sure you never ever have to depend on anybody else for money. It kind of got etched in my being like a rule of life. The other one came from my father, being influenced by the middle class North Indian community back home, that you have to study primarily engineering and then go in for a corporate job, because that is the only way you will be able to ever move beyond your current economic class. We are middle class people, we just have these limited options, my father would say. At a younger age, I would read, and more than that, I loved to write. But I think it is these beliefs that made me never even consider writing as a career. It is why I never went for a master's in English literature, despite being super enthralled by it during my undergraduate years. When I saw these European movies where the characters, young like myself, were so free to choose the path they wanted to without much concern for survival, it screamed cultural dissonance to me in more ways than words can ever capture. So, long story short, here I am today working a corporate job, very financially independent, but I often question what it takes away from me. Especially when work doesn't align with what you want to do, make, or believe. It is almost like you are spending 8 to 10 hours a day, every day, all your life, wasting them on something you find absolutely no meaning in. You just go on doing it like a machine. Human capitalism in its peak era. It just becomes something that you need to do to pay your bills and support your lifestyle. And while I'm grateful that I have a job that can support my lifestyle and pay my bills, but the obsessing over reports and deadlines, while all along my actual life, the people that I love, they get only pockets of my time and attention, feels really unfair and unsettling. It's funny, really, when you have to schedule spending time together with the people you love. Remote.
ये पहली वाली आपने डाली थी ना, इससे सबको पता चला था कि क्या हुआ। इससे भी पता चलेगा कि ये हुआ।
बस यही किया है अभी तो। अब अच्छा नहीं है, हम मना कर दिया। आ जाओ, जाओ। बाय। पता नहीं। बाय। निकल, सॉरी, अब क्या फिर से। बाय।
हैप्पी जर्नी।
हैप्पी जर्नी।
हेलो।
हाँ ये सब हो गया, आप लोग निकल जाओ।
हाँ हम तो आ गए इधर, ये फैक्ट्री में आ गए।
Need a friend to shake me out again.
एक्चुअली वहाँ पता कैसे लगाना चाह रहा था
कैसे?
Need a friend to shake me out again.
फिर चढ़ा दें
मस्त लगेगा.
Don't know if I can find my way. Everything's gonna die.
There are very few people in the world who ever get to do exactly what they find meaningful and at the same time be monetarily, financially very well served with that work. Most of us are just working to pay the bills. This reflection was very hard hitting for me as I realized how strange it is that something as simple as being with the people I love can start feeling like another thing that I need to justify. I wasn't just deciding whether I wanted to see my family, I was trying to calculate whether I could afford the time, whether I could afford the money, whether I could afford the disruption in my routine, whether I could make it fit around everything else that needed to be done. सब गंदा है अभी. हम जा रहे हैं. पैकिंग हो चुकी है
यस
और ये दूसरा बैग.
गरीब कुछ कर
बाय. इधर आ जाओ.
हाय
बाय. इसमें आओ.
बाय
Bye.
बाय
See you. And maybe this year is about unlearning some of those things about work and productivity and learning to value the economy of time. Learning that sometimes being there for the people we love doesn't need a reason beyond simply wanting to be there. Maybe this is what they call making time. I am home.